What's going on, guys? This is Davis for the M3 podcast. This is the new kind of format, as you kind of found out with the last one. Jaden is not exactly a part of it right now. He might still come back eventually to do an episode here and there to help out for a random guest type thing, but he's doing his own thing right now with Twitch and YouTube and everything. So, wishing him kind of the best luck as is. Last episode, I had introduced a new co-host. His name was Brandon. Him and I had a decent conversation, and now I have another co-host and another guy named Dallas here. And so each time we'll have either one new co-host, myself and someone else, or two people, three people, depending on the day of the week, depending on how things kind of go as each week progresses. But everything is still gonna be in that same kind of concept of video games, movies, TV shows, comics, that type of stuff. So if you like that type of stuff, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're on YouTube, or rate 5 stars or anything on Spotify, Apple, anything like that. It really helps out, and really appreciate anything you can do. So yeah, as I just said there, the new co-host is Dallas. How's it going, Dallas?
Oh, it's going pretty good. I got my camera set up, got my new capture card thing all working, so hopefully you guys are seeing me clearly and hearing me properly, so that'll be ideal. A little bit about myself is I was a semi-professional drifter for Western Canada, and I'm trying to get back into drifting again because I love drifting. It's that slidey thing with the cars, I think Tokyo Drift.
Tokyo Drift, Fast and
Yeah,
Furious Tokyo Drift. Yep.
yeah, a lot of people, if I say drifter, they think either cars or like the
The
homeless guy. And
Hitchhiker.
yeah. So you got to clarify that sometimes. So that's mostly what I do. I'm big into aquariums, watch a lot of TV. I got a couple pets, a dog and a cat. My dog's a rescue, but he's a really good guy. He's just a little sketchy around strangers.
As
Yeah.
expected for a rescue, especially.
I was his fourth owner in 3 years, so.
Oh
But now
wow.
I've had him for 2 years, so I'm the longest owner now too.
Okay, well at least that's good. That hopefully he has a stay at home now.
Oh yeah, he's doing good. He gets to go out to the farm, and my girlfriend's actually going to take him out to her farm starting on Mondays here to try to socialize him more with like other dogs and horses and stuff because it's the socialization that we're really working on with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, did not expect this to go into dog talk immediately, but
It's like life in general. The whole kind of idea is like catching up with people, catching up with friends, and
yeah,
then using kind of like movies, TV shows as kind of like a breaking off point. And if you go back and listen to some of the other ones, there's been some major rabbit trails that Jay and I went down and everything in the past. So it's like
it's a conversation. That's
yeah,
what it is.
exactly. It's not an interview style, but even interview style like Joe Rogan is a whole conversation and bring up random things. But I liked to have like, especially with like the MCU is a big thing, right? As an example, right? It's a good way of like, holy shit, to bring up to join a conversation and stuff like
Yeah,
that. So
yeah. Actually, I just speaking of MCU, all of a sudden, I just read an interview from Chris Pratt about when he did Guardians of the Galaxy.
mhm.
This might be old news to you, but apparently he thought that there was no way this movie was going to work. He thought it was going to completely tank because you don't put money into a movie with a talking tree and a raccoon with a machine gun. So
Yep, yeah, I remember
yeah,
hearing that, and well, the reason why is because a lot of people are skeptical. Because unless you're like a comics fan, not many people really know who the Guardians even are, right? It's not something super common that. And then
no,
so I even had people saying, "Oh, it's just a new version of Star Wars," and I'm like, no, like,
no,
but and even myself as a comics fan, I didn't even really know a whole lot about it. So there was a lot of people like Kevin Feige was almost worried himself that it wouldn't do well. But yeah,
Well, if you look back at the oh man, what's his Star Lord, whatever his not Star Lord name is in the old comics, he's like a grizzly old war vet, and like he's like an old rough and tough kind of guy, not like a young little party guy all the time. So
yeah, they James Gunn definitely changed the characters. Like it's definitely inspired by, and like Yondu is completely different. But it's just like anything in the MCU. It's like a whole like they take the comics by inspiration. That's like what's
yeah,
different between like Marvel. Actually, I'm more comparison more to like anime because like MCU, even though it's live action compared to cartoons, still it's like anime. They literally take what's from the page and put it live action. That's why there's animes that have like thousands of episodes sometimes. But like this
Yeah,
is inspired by, and they kind of take the treatment. They take some panels directly from the comics, but like yeah, they're writing their own stories with them.
yeah. And I actually, Guardians of the Galaxy to me has the best cameos because they had Sylvester Stallone as the leader of wow,
Ravishers.
the Ravishers. Yeah. But apparently there was a Miley Cyrus cameo. I never
Yeah,
figured out who that was
she
though.
was the voice of it's very last minute. It's I don't remember the character's name, but in the Guardians 2, there's a red like octopus squid looking character that has like these weird like flashy hands or whatever, and she voiced this. I think that was the character. It was either that or like the robot like little thing. I don't remember. It's been a while since I've seen Guardians 2, but she voiced a character
Yeah.
that's an animated character.
You ever watch like movies made in China or movies made in Japan and seen their cameos?
Not really.
So
I no.
you have Netflix, right?
Yeah.
So there's this movie called Ip Man. There's four of them, based on a true story. He's the guy that trained Bruce Lee originally.
Mm-hmm.
And if you watch the movies, they're like Chinese made. They aren't in English. And one movie, the antagonist is Mike Tyson. Another one, it's Batista, which is why I was
David.
thinking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but it's funny because it's just not English movies at all. But then they bring in these like professional American wrestler guys as
Well, super
bad
well.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I've heard of IP. I've heard of IP Man, but like the American version. I don't think I've ever seen the actual like the actual Chinese version.
well, they're really good. So the guy who plays Ip Man is also the blind guy in the Star Wars Rogue One, like the blind guy that loves the Force and fights blind the whole time. I don't know if you've seen Rogue One,
No,
but
I was gonna say funny thing. I'm literally like the one like nerd in history that doesn't like Star Wars. So that's
not
literally
even Mandalorian.
the Mandalorian was really good, but
Oh
that's because I like the show itself was good. I don't. I'm. It's that's a whole. There's a whole thing into Star Wars, but like it's so weird. Most people like because I like comics and the MCU, Lord of the Rings, and Harry Potter and stuff like that. People that's all in the same kind of realm, right? So I people assume, and it's just so weird. But like, what you don't like Star Wars? And yeah, there's a whole thing, and it's not a major thing for me. So I actually don't know. I know I have seen the original. I think I've seen the original trilogy, and I don't even know if I've seen all of the like original trilogy and like the prequels either. I remember bits and pieces of some of the originals, but I haven't seen any of the new ones.
My parents were born in the '50s, so my dad was like mid 20s or whatever when they were actually in theaters. So he grew up on them. So he made sure I watched them when I was a kid too.
Yeah, the '70s, back when it first came out.
Yeah, yeah, and he always told me that I was lucky because I didn't have to wait years in between the movies and stuff.
Hmm.
Same with like Back to the Future and all those kind of movies. So
Yeah, that's just like I keep on seeing videos of like TikTok or whatever, like parents showing their like kind of older kids Infinity War, and then making them wait a year to watch Endgame instead of watching it back to back. So it's like it's that same thing. It's like, oh, you can just watch it right away without having to wait so
yeah,
long.
yeah, I probably wouldn't make my kid wait, but I get the theory behind it. It's trying to make them feel like they're living in the same kind of era, but
Well, it would all depend if you look at like Iron Man through all the way to Endgame, it was years of watching it. So you're not gonna make your kids wait years to
yeah,
watch each
no.
movie. So if you're doing like a marathon, but then you make them wait for that last movie, it's like they're gonna forget and not care.
Hmm. Well, even imagine if you tried to make your kids wait for all the Indiana Jones. Like the first one came out in '80s or whatever, and there's one in production right now. So you're gonna make your kid wait 40 years to watch a movie would be kind of dumb.
I didn't know that they because of how bad everyone received Crystal Skull. I didn't
Oh,
know that they were even making a new one.
yeah, it got announced right before COVID started, so COVID's pushed it back, but
Oh,
it was announced. Yeah, I don't know when it's gonna be released now. Like even Top Gun got pushed back. Who knows how long now?
right. The I remember the trailer came out, or at least the teaser
Yeah,
trailer when that came out. That was like, and yeah, that's a what's the eight is it an '80s movie? But I
yeah,
think
'80s and
yeah. So
Maverick. The new one's called Maverick. So
right, yeah, but the thing that's crazy about that is that it's literally Tom Cruise actually flying a jet. Like
yeah,
that's just Tom Cruise being Tom Cruise.
and he's got the same motorcycle. I'm like 90% sure that in the new one he's riding the same old bike from the first one. So
Yeah, that's probably because it's probably his bike, not like a prop or something like that. My guess.
yeah. Maybe they just wanted. Maybe he's gonna be like stuck living in the '80s, kind of washed up, and as
I
I
hope
watched.
I hope they don't do that, like pull like a Cobra Kai.
I haven't seen that yet.
I haven't seen. I'm only halfway through the third season, but it has like the '80s feel. Like they shoot it kind of in like the '80s, the same kind of style, but like with like modern, like it's newer kids, so they have their smartphones and stuff like that. But it's over dramatized, and I only saw the original Karate Kid, so I don't have a whole lot of reference, and I'm a little
Same.
yeah, I'm a little young, so I don't know the like I don't have the nostalgia feels for it or anything. Oh, which right, forgot I'm older than you. Another person that looks older than me. Oh well, that's
I
life.
do want to see the second karate. Well, I think there's four. There's three with the young boy, and then the fourth one, I believe, the old man's training a girl.
Okay,
And I've only seen the first one, and then a clip of a fight scene where they break ice in the second one, I think.
okay, yeah, they have clips like that in Cobra Kai
Yeah,
from so they as because it's all the same story, so they use that as like memories type thing.
that
I
makes
actually was
sense.
introduced to the Karate Kid movies from the Jaden Smith one because I had
Oh,
I had no idea about the '80s version. I saw the like that one first with Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan.
yeah, that would be. I don't know. Like I said, I grew up. My parents are mid '60s, late '60s, almost 70 now.
Oof.
I know, right? That's it's getting up there. So I grew up watching all the old VHSs, and they were like really behind. They didn't really video games wasn't really a thing for them, so we never really had that growing up, and just like I grew up watching like Little House on the Prairie or the Waltons, Knight Rider, Dukes of Hazard, which is my favorite, even though the flag's a little controversial now. I still love the show.
Yeah, I do agree with you. I do know what you mean for sure with a Little House on the Prairie. Watched that a little bit as a
Yeah,
kid. Again, Dukes of Hazard was more introduced to me via the Dukes of Hazard movie with
Johnny Knoxville, Jessica Simpson, Sean
Jessica
William
Simpson.
Scott, or
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
and then yeah,
uh,
but like there's so much things with like Gen Z's with cancel culture. Like the flag, I get because it is, but it you can't cancel a show due to like the era that it was from. Like
yeah.
I don't know. There's a whole thing with stuff
All
like
right,
that right now.
talking about older movies and cancel culture. Who was your favorite James Bond?
I didn't really watch the like '70s one or '70s '80s, so I would say whoever he is now. I don't remember the
Daniel
actor.
Craig.
Yeah, Daniel Craig. Because I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know like Sean Connery. I can't
Yeah, he
think.
was in the '60s ones and the '70s ones, and I think he did a little break for Roger Moore, if I'm correct, and then I think he came back for another one. So I don't know. That's,
Why do you say that? What is there something? Was there someone that was like that did some
all
things
the
or something?
yeah, pretty much all the James Bond have been canceled now because the counts. There's one movie where James Bond has relations with 21 girls, I think it is, and like
He's a
there's a
player.
lot. Yeah, yeah, aggressively. And right, even in the old Sean Connery ones, there's a lot of times where the girls are like, "No, I don't want this," and then he's like, "Yes, you do," and then they just go ahead, and
No,
eh,
it's
it's like,
a little rapey.
yeah,
So okay,
uh,
so yeah, there's some things like that where I agree with it, where it's like okay, it's a little too much, but Gen Z trying to cancel Eminem right now is not gonna happen.
No, no.
And
Sean Connery, still my favorite Bond. I loved him. I loved him in his later films. I love the fact he had the Walther PPK. I love the fact he drove the DB5. Like, I do like him, but the writers are the ones who made him say all that stuff. So blame
yeah,
the writers, not the actor.
yeah, exactly. I hate it when people like will have a big famous quote or whatever from a movie, and they'll say like the actor's name or the character's name, and then I'm like, no, that's a writer. Like you should be quoting, like it's not you miss every shot that you don't take. That's Wayne Gretzky. It makes sense. It's from that person,
Yeah.
not do or do not. There is no try. Yoda. Like no,
Yeah.
that's written by James Cameron or not James Cameron.
No,
George
no,
Lucas. George
yeah,
Lucas and his right like in his team
those guys.
or
Yeah.
or whoever wrote. Wait, who wrote the books? I have no
No,
idea.
no
But
idea.
if that, I don't know if that's inspired from the if that's from the books or if it's Lucas or whatever. But you know what I mean, right?
Oh yeah. I'm right now. I'm reading Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, like that classic 1980 or 1880s novel.
I've
It's
heard.
very famous, but no one's ever read it. They made a movie of it in the 60s or 70s, but they haven't again since. But that's got a lot of stuff that wouldn't fly in 2021. That's for sure. But it's 140 years old, so like I don't see any
I
problem with it.
what is it about? I've heard the title, but I don't know what it's actually about.
Okay, a loose story is they get one of the main characters is Canadian. He's a Quebec whaler. So there's a giant, what they believe to be a narwhal that's 250 feet long, that's causing certain boats to sink when it impacts it. So this professor and the assistant and a Canadian whaler all get like drafted by the military, 1880s military,
Yeah.
to go out and try to hunt this narwhal. And then they fall overboard and they get picked up by the narwhal, which turns out to be a super futuristic style submarine from some rich guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
You ever heard of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen?
Yes, I was. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
Captain Nemo, that guy.
Yeah, yeah. Because when when we brought up Sean Connery, that was one of the movies I was thinking of with.
Oh, Alan Quatermain. I read the first two of that book too, because he was Alan Quatermain in that series.
Okay.
And Alan Quatermain actually was written by H. Rider Haggard, I believe, and there was 14 novels starring him.
Mm-hmm. And this
And
is the only one that got turned into a movie?
Well, no, there's 14 novels starring him, and out of those 14 novels, they just liked the character and took him and made him into the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen later on.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's some. Alan Quatermain is one of the inspirations for Indiana Jones.
Oh. Yeah, that I can see it. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Just a big game trader or a big game hunter and occasional trader in Africa.
Yeah, just like how Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde is inspiration for the Hulk, right?
Yeah, yeah, and they are also in the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yeah.
Because it's all like 1880s to like 1910 figures that they just joined together to make the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yeah, it was like the whole thing that's like the Avengers or Justice League. It's like they were like almost like the original.
Yeah.
Like team up type thing, kind of like how it was so funny. It was like I don't know if you heard about this, but you know how like I said, there's the MCU, and then DC tried catching up by doing the DCEU, and they've been terrible at it.
Yeah.
And then there's the Monsters universe. Like, have you heard about that?
Monsters?
Yeah. So like back in 2017, I want to say something like that. Universal Monsters. They tried to do Frankenstein, Dracula, the Invisible Man, because they did like a new like kind of tying it in almost with Hugh Jackman's
Wolverine.
No, Van Helsing.
Okay.
In that kind of style, even though that wouldn't have been one of those movies, but it would have been like that set of characters basically, and they tried doing it in the first one. Oh, it was the Mummy. It was the new Mummy movie.
Tom Cruise Mummy movie?
Yeah, that one. So that was supposed to be the launch of the Monsters like universe. That just that just because MCU was doing so well, so everyone else was trying to copy it, and it just didn't
Yeah, it didn't work.
work.
Is it bad that as soon as you said monsters, I pictured Godzilla and King Kong?
Hey,
Like
apparently
those were
that's
the first ones.
that. Well, that didn't that movie come out this year? Or did either it came out or it's coming out? I think it came
Um,
out.
last time I heard was Skull Island was a Kong movie, and that was 3 4 years ago now. So
Oh no, there's King Kong versus or Godzilla versus King Kong.
oh, I will watch that. I really
Yeah,
want to see the so the first Godzilla movie came out in 1954, Japanese full Japanese movie.
yeah,
I
yeah.
really I really want to find that and watch it. The only place I found it so far is on Facebook Watch, and I don't really want to hook my laptop up and stream it to my TV because my TV's older, so I gotta find HDMI cords, and it's a hassle. And
Well,
I
yeah,
don't want to watch it on my phone either.
yeah. That'd be interesting to watch like those old timey ones, or like watch like the original like Frankenstein or like the like
Yeah,
1960 like black and white the original Dracula when you're like like comes
yeah.
out and everything. That would, especially for me being into as like a film student, I probably should like appreciate the old style of filmmaking.
There's an idea for you. Let's watch those movies, and we can have little injections of our knowledge into this podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
So, so yeah, there's tons of original classic movies that are apparently really good, and 95 years makes it public domain. So anything 95 years and older, you'll easily find. Anything younger than that might take a bit more work, but
Well,
I
yeah,
don't
I
know.
think the closest thing I've in that era, I guess that I've watched is like the old like Charlie Chaplin films. If you've ever seen, oh, I haven't seen the
Yeah,
whole
oh
things,
yeah.
but I've seen clips on YouTube and stuff like that. Like,
Oh, where the building falls in the window and he's standing right there, and
yeah, and like
yeah,
him
no, that's
on the train and everything
yeah,
like that. Like some classic Chaplin is always really good.
yeah. He's a gem. Too bad that that mustache became a Hitler stash, not a Chaplin stash.
Well, yeah, Hitler got inspired from Chaplin, but yeah,
Mhm.
you can't do that
No,
just for him for
well,
Halloween or anything like that.
no. I actually read that that mustache was very common because that was the style they needed in order to keep the gas masks around them with a proper seal in World War I. So
Oh,
that's what I read.
no idea. Because I do know that in modern military, you're not supposed like you wouldn't be able to have a beard like you have right there.
No,
Like
no,
for is unless you're like higher up and you're not gonna be like infantry specifically shouldn't be able to. But because for that exact reason. So
yeah. Even
uh,
oil fields here you can't because there's a lot of the hazardous gas in the oil fields here, so you got to be clean shaved so the respirator fits nicely around your skin. Makes a good seal.
oh, I didn't know that. Anything I've heard has been the other way around because you want to keep your face as warm as possible because you're out in the fucking minus
Yeah.
40-degree weather.
I guess it's more like mines than oil field, but it just depends what they're digging, where they're drilling, all that stuff, right?
Oh, makes sense. I never. I'm,
Mhm.
I'm not the typical Burton, so I don't think
Yeah.
of that stuff. I'm not a oil field
Um,
worker or welder or anything like that.
yeah. I had a gig for a while where I was servicing equipment, and yeah, that was a thing. I had to be clean shaved for that, but they never put me through the course, which is weird because they made me be clean shaven for those job sites, but I didn't go through the course, so I couldn't have used the thing anyways. But they put other guys that I worked with in the course. I just fell under the radar somehow. So
You just weren't good enough.
yeah, probably not.
But what type of things? So you mentioned earlier that you're doing like drifting and that type of stuff.
Mm.
What type of stuff do you follow like onto your YouTube, or do you like game on? Or I guess not like Twitch or anything, but what other things do you do?
Well, I just made a new channel because my previous channel with my friend was very lifestyle-y. We moved to Toronto. We did like tried to do adventurous stuff, and then I came back because I couldn't make any money. I was going broke, and he's still out there, but he wants to come back because he's going broke too. And but now that I'm back, I made this new channel. This new channel is mostly about. So I got 9 cars of various conditions and shapes. mostly like race car type things, and then like a truck and trailer to pull it. But most of my content now is drifting related, or I'm building a truck right now to do mud bog racing. I have a racing lawnmower build right now, just little things like that.
A racing lawnmower.
Yeah, there's a
So
racing lawnmower series in Alberta.
so are you gonna grow a mullet and start chewing dip and become
Yep. My mullet's on its way already. It's getting there.
move down to the southern United States?
Yeah, fit in perfectly. My name's Dallas. Just go to
Yeah,
Texas, right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's it'll be fun. The mud bog thing I think will be fun. Just because it's cheaper than drifting. And then for the following year, I want to take my drift car to ice racing. It's just like they plow out frozen lakes and do events. So I just want to get as much automotive like motorsports content as possible, and I want to stay constantly busy. So I gotta keep busy with it.
That's yeah, that's like the modern dream. The American, North American, Canadian dream used to be, go to school, get a wife, kids, or husband, kids, whatever, whoever you're talking to, and then
Yeah,
white picket fence and have a neighborhood, blah blah blah. But like the modern thing is like I even had a conversation with a friend earlier today, and like not as many people are going to college anymore. You can learn so much things off YouTube and
yeah,
all types of things, right? So like there's so much more of an experience of like living your life and experiencing and like getting paid. So like that's the whole reason why I'm trying to do something like this because I think I was talking to you about it. I don't remember, but I'm really inspired by Kevin Smith. So he has a couple of podcasts and like he's a filmmaker and a podcaster and everything. And he does literally the same thing. Like talks about movies and his and game and stuff like that, and just passions about it. And like I would really want to eventually get things like this going. Like if I can get this going really well, have people going on, and eventually have other guests or whatever on, and then fusing it together into an actual filmmaking thing would be like the
hmm
biggest thing for me for like making an actual life out of making content. Like
yeah.
that's such the modern day like dream, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. I I understand the university thing. Even though I work trades right now, up until COVID, I was doing night school to try to get a business degree, and then I stopped because online learning I don't think I'm going to do too well at. So once the pandemic lightens and I can go back to night school, that's what I'm going to do. But even in your last podcast, the co-host was talking about the 4 hour work week by Timothy Ferris.
Mm-hmm.
I actually just read that in December here, and yeah, I know that's what that guy is a lot about. He's not about the social media part, but he's a lot about wanting to create a sustainable life for yourself where you get to enjoy what you do and ideally only work 4 hours a week. So
Yeah,
it is pretty good.
it like I then actually when he talked about it, I went and looked at the library on my app on my phone because I have an app for that, and I have an app for that.
Yeah.
And I searched and I tried to find it, but they didn't have it available. So I'm gonna probably download the audio version and listen to that because yeah. Or the other thing I brought up was another one I want to read is Rich Dad Poor Dad.
I've read that one too, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I really want to start kind of the only thing about doing stuff like that is that because I have read other kind of like life lesson, like motivational type books before, but it's really hard to actually implement them, especially now with COVID, because COVID just fucking
Yeah.
everything over, and hopefully within the next few months, hopefully before summer, it's like gonna be, pardon me, gonna be actually open up and a lot better. But like it's throwing everything off, and I want to live that. For me, even if it's like a gig, it doesn't have to be only 4 days, but like work on a show, like say a show every few months, work a camera operator or something like that, and then have 3 months off, and then work again 6 months down the road. Like even something like that, if I'm making enough money to sustain myself or whatever, would be super ideal for me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So Rich Dad Poor Dad, and then I read one of the sequels to that too. And just a heads up here, it's very American, and they talk about LLCs and stuff, which don't really apply to us in Canada. So just watch out for that. And then if you are reading the 4 Hour Work Week, it was published in '08, I believe, and a lot of it talks about online marketing and sales and stuff. The past 12, 13 years, it has changed aggressively.
Yeah.
So
So the concept is still the same, but like
yeah.
that's yeah, because oh wait, so YouTube was still just starting
Hmm.
because YouTube started in '05, and like affiliate marketing and is a thing, and that's what I would like to kind of get into. It's hard to kind of get into it if you don't have much of a following that for people to do affiliate marketing, which but I like
Yeah.
the concept is I'm sure is still the same, but you just have to connect like Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and Twitch
Hmm.
and everything so that you actually get as many people out there as possible, right? Get your
Yeah.
revenue streams and everything.
Well, in that book, Timothy Ferriss talks about using a Yahoo program to set up websites to sell things. So I think,
Squarespace.
yeah, I think Shopify is kind of the number one right now. I used to have a Shopify store, and I did some drop shipping for a little bit, and then China shut down for COVID, and I never reopened it up again. Uh,
Oh yeah, yeah I haven't gotten around to actually trying it, but I really want to. But yeah,
I gotta cancel that still. Like I put the website on hold, and 30 months they take, or every month they take $30 out of my account still to keep it on hold. I gotta just get rid of it at this point.
yeah,
I,
no,
yeah, I've been
yeah,
inactive too long.
yeah. It works. I think it would work definitely better if you have more of an actual following. If you have probably at least people, because most of my social media followers is like family and people that or like connected via other um, projects I've worked on and stuff like that. So nothing like you
Mm.
need to be connected to like Americans and stuff like that, people
Yeah.
that you don't know.
Well, you can actually with Facebook now you can do targeted ads to Shopify, and the targeted ads it gets you anywhere. Like most of my stuff was selling to people in states, southern states, because it was car parts I was drop shipping, like not safety related car parts, but like those bullet shaped antennas you screw on, or like a weird like pressure washy rag thing, like stuff like that. So,
Mm.
but yeah, I was running ads to targeted ads. So I was going male between 20 and 34, I think, and then guys that also liked like Roadkill or Hot Rod Garage, like Popular Motor Trend or other
Popular
automotive
mechanic.
shows. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So I was targeting them, and it was working okay, but yeah, it never would have paid the bills, kind of thing. It's
A little bit of extra money on the side, and
yeah.
yeah, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, you really have to have multiple revenue streams. That's what I
Hmm.
hear all the time. Is that it's like that's why I'm so no. I really wish there was Anchor, but in Canada, because like the website I use to upload this is it's Anchor.fm, which not sponsored, but but they have a section where when you upload it, literally says add an ad segment, and no, and it's literally even if you have as little listeners as this channel does so far, you can make a little bit of money on it if you're American.
Yeah.
There's no way like so I'm trying to do I want to find a way to do it, upload it and everything. That's why because it's not gonna make any money off of this until it actually gets like 1,000 subscribers on YouTube or
You can always run ads.
yeah. No, that's what I mean. You can't unless someone locally knows me to try to promote them or something. I don't know of any way to run ads without.
Oh,
Uh,
I mean like running your own ad on like Google or Facebook or something. Like you make a little 30-second video and you're the one who runs the ad. You can do that.
oh, I never even
Like,
thought of that.
but it costs money. It's like pay per click usually.
And
So it's like every time someone clicks, that's 5 cents out of your pocket, kind of thing. And I think at one point, what I was reading was every 1,000 clicks on for a YouTube one, it was like every 1,000 clicks got you like 50 subscribers. So I think that'd be like $500 gets you 50 subscribers at that rate, which is
that's like buying.
pretty pricey.
Yeah, that's buying subscribers.
Well, not quite buying subscribers because you're just putting up an ad to interested people and potentially someone subscribes or they don't.
Oh, okay. So it's not buying bots.
No, it's not buying bots. It's just putting up ads. It'd be the same as you see those billboards around town for radio stations, just like that. Like, how many people drive by those radio stations versus how many people actually see the billboard and say, hey, I'm going to try 91.7, and how many people decide to stay with 91.7?
Yeah, I don't think any of the. I think all of my radio stations pre-saved in my car are literally just the ones I scanned through. Actually, no. I think the very first one was Now Radio, which I saw on the billboard. So that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it's marketing and advertising. It's not a scammy. I'll spend $500, get 500 Instagram followers. No, it's not something like that. It's no guarantee. It's just once people see stuff, some people click on them. Like, I'm at the point now, if I am watching a YouTube video or something of somebody I'm actually into, like, who do I watch? I watch like Donut Media or KG Tropicals because aquariums. I like those. I'll watch all of their ads all the way through because they don't get paid from those ads unless you click on it or finish it.
Mm-hmm.
If you hit skip, they don't make money. So I'll watch them all the way through because I support them.
That's why a lot of people I watch, like, they tend to have their own, like, the sponsor segment for that specific reason, right? So they'll like integrate it into the video so that it's actually like you can skip ahead, but that doesn't really change anything because the company paid for it already. Like literally a video I watched just before getting on starting this today was the producer of Corridor Crew, the guy I think I told you about. Their producer was like, they were having a phone call, called him in the middle of a conversation, and they started doing an ad read for their thing in the conversation in the video. It was like, yeah, and that's just how they do it. They just integrate it into the video type thing, right? Or I've seen people.
Yeah, tons of times. You see the same ads usually in these smaller podcasts and YouTubes, or even the big YouTubes. You always see like Skillshare, Manscaped. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, Skillshare, Manscaped. I actually have a TikTok video that's literally about that. It's actually
the headphones too. I don't remember those headphones, but that was the other one.
Oh no, I've had, but yeah, the Raycons. Yeah, so
Raycons.
My TikTok video it's literally me going like YouTubers and then like NordVPN. Oh no, wait, you don't need a security network. How about Raycon earbuds? Okay, no, Raycon, okay, you're listening to this using headphones, okay, so you don't need headphones right now. What about, and then I just kind of make up some, like, dumb, it's a little video about, like, the typical ones you always hear about.
Yeah, I got, so the Lawnmower 2.0, my friend Levi got me that thing.
Yeah.
Oh, don't believe the ads, you can still cut yourself.
Well, I don't exactly need to shave that whole lot.
Those aren't designed to work.
Yeah, I know. I was just kind of, I was trying to keep it PG, okay?
I think we might have sworn a couple times, so I think we might be past that already.
Oh, I don't care. Swearing's not a big deal. That's what the explicit button is for on Anchor. Yeah.
You could add like a cool little like boing or something every time we swear, or like.
I've heard plenty of podcasts, especially since this is just conversation based. You can. And YouTube, you can swear on YouTube as well, as long as you don't have it on the Made for Kids, then it's fine. Yeah. I've heard there's channels where they swear all the time.
Yeah, so, that's true.
I don't think there's any concern with anything like that. So whatever.
Like I listen. What are the top 5 podcasts you listen to? Let's go with 5.
Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. It's Michael Rosenbaum from Smallville. If you ever watched that, he's an actor. He's not a major big actor, but he literally has guests on, like he had what's his name, Nathan Fillion, and he'll have because they're people that he's like actually kind of friends with, like he's been on shows with him before or something.
Yeah.
And it's just literally he calls it Inside of You because they have conversations about like their life and what they're doing.
Let's pause that for just half a sec because you talked about Nathan Fillion in your last episode too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what I was shocked by is neither one of you brought up that petition going around Edmonton right now to
Oh,
name that
to name
building
the
the
building after him.
Nathan Fillion Civilian Pavilion.
Yeah, actually, on the Michael Rosenbaum podcast with him is when I heard about that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's neat. All right. Sorry for the interruption.
No, it's all good. No, because that totally makes a lot of sense. Like, yeah, Nathan Fillion is one of the biggest names from Edmonton for sure. Like, that's not Michael McDavid or something.
Michael J. Fox, born in the same hospital as me.
Michael J. Fox is.
Future.
Oh,
I
didn't
born
know.
in the Royal Alec, but he moved when he was like 4. So.
Oh.
But he was born at the Royal Alexander in Edmonton, Alberta.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so inside of you, the Corridor cast, the one I was telling you about, that's the whole relationship to the channel, the inspiration that I want to turn this channel into. Joe Rogan, I watched I listen to more when I'm like going on a trip because his are like 2.5 to 3 hours long, and it depends on the person. Like if I actually know the person that he's talking to, or if I read the description, if I don't know the name and I read the description of who they are and what they might be, I'll still probably get into it because like most of the conversations are pretty good. And those are the only real ones that I really listen to. I'm subscribed to a couple other ones, but I don't really listen to them as much. Mr. Sunday Movies.
I listen to quite a few actually, but I'll name my top. I'm gonna go a bit more than 5.
Sure.
Yeah, I listen. So, No Jumper. It's the coolest podcast in the world, right? It's what they say all the time. It's that hip hop podcast. It's very big. I watch Dylan and Pepper Show After Show because they're local and I like to support local and I think they are hilarious. Steve-O's Wild Ride.
Oh my God, Steve-O.
I know. Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson because he started his own podcast. Maximum.
Joe Rogan was the one who told him to do that.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. Joe Rogan and Dave was like, dude, you need to start a podcast. But Joe Rogan tells everyone to start a podcast.
So one episode with Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson, he's interviewing William Shatner, which is hilarious to me. But a lot of the Mike Tyson podcasts are more people interviewing Mike Tyson almost every time.
Because that's like, Mike freaking Tyson.
They added in a co-host to kind of direct the conversation.
Yeah.
But Mike Tyson Mysteries on TV?
I haven't ever watched it, but I know what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, his co-host is some football player or ex-football player, but to me sounds exactly like Pigeon from that show.
Maybe it is. Maybe it's.
No, it's not. I looked that up.
Okay. I've the only reason I know what you're talking about is because I've seen the thumbnail on Netflix and it has that pigeon on it. So yeah. I've never watched the show yet, but.
And then my other ones are Maximum Driftcast, which I actually support their Patreon even. Because drifting is very important to me. Pass Gas by Donut Media. The Wolf's Den, which is Jordan Belfort from The Wolf of Wall Street, his podcast.
Oh, the real guy?
The real guy, Jordan Belfort, yeah. I've been popping dirty money, Jordan Belfort. That song. Remember it was huge in 10 years ago kind of thing, 15 years ago?
No, it's not one
I've been popping dirty money, Jordan Belfort, selling penny stocks. I don't know the words. But
okay. No,
It was like the party song in Miami and shit during spring break that year. But yeah, no, that's one to look up there. That's a funny song. And then Impulsive, Logan Paul's podcast. It won a streamy. I checked it out. They talked to some cool people.
I don't really like Logan Paul, Jake Paul, PewDiePie. I don't like those guys that are just super big. Literally the next biggest name is probably that I actually follow on YouTube is Dude Perfect. Dude Perfect is they're probably because Jake Paul, Logan Paul, PewDiePie. PewDiePie is I think is still number one. As an actual YouTuber, I know there was that race between him and T-Series.
I think T-Series is past him now. But...
Yeah, but I'm not counting them because they're a company and everything, right? But I don't really follow that era. The closest person
from Mr. Beast.
I do Mr. Beast. I got into him a little bit, but then I kind of got a little too repetitive of the exact same thing. Of here's $1,000, spend all my money in an hour, whatever. I liked it when he was actually kind of his first kind of big one where he gave a random homeless person $10,000 or whatever. That kind of got him into it. But I don't. I'll occasionally, if it kind of strolls across my main page, my homepage, then maybe I might. But I don't. I don't follow. I don't have the bell on. Actually, I don't have the bell on for any YouTubers. Actually,
I like Mark Robson's another cool guy. He's a designer, engineer. I think he even worked for NASA for a while.
oh, Mark Rober, you mean?
Rover, yeah.
Mark Rober, yeah, he's one of my favorite. Yeah,
Yeah, he's good. He's cool.
yeah, he's. I showed my brother-in-law one of his videos a while ago because we were talking about the elephant toothpaste and stuff that he can do, and his video that he did. And Mark Rober is like such a unique YouTube channel because he only uploads one video a month.
Yeah.
Like, and every video he gets 10 million plus views. Mm-hmm. Like,
well, same with the Hacksmith, I think.
Yeah, the Hacksmith I think is like twice a month. Like depends on depends like he's not as much as some people that are like weekly or some people that are like daily. Like Casey Neistat used to be daily.
Yeah.
But I stopped following him too because it's like I don't get the point of having a daily vlog. No. Today I had a piece of toast and ate breakfast and had coffee.
You know who would have been the best vlogger ever if he was born 10 years later but had the same circumstances?
Give me a reference as to who you're thinking of, in at least that like genre, so I can kind of narrow it down.
I'll give you a really good hint. He just got kicked out of the production for Jackass number 4. He will not be in Jackass number 4.
Johnny Knoxville?
Bam Margera.
Bam Margera?
Do you remember that show Viva La Bam he had?
Yeah.
So they gave him, I was listening to a podcast, and I think it said 200 grand an episode or 100 grand an episode, like something stupid for him to spend, and he planned every episode, and he just was given like every week, here's 100 grand, fuck shit up, make it entertaining.
Yeah.
Now if that kid was a YouTuber in like 2017, 2016 when that stuff was popping, and had 50 grand or whatever he made off YouTube, man, that guy would still probably be blowing up. He'd be just making the craziest stuff, like driving Lamborghinis off cliffs, and like
he would be doing the same thing as Jake and Logan Paul.
For sure. Exactly.
Yeah, doing those crazy big, or what's it, Dylan Dobrik?
David Dobrik.
David Dobrik. Yeah, he does those that's exactly what he does. Is those major things like that. I don't really. I know his name because he's such a big YouTube name, but I don't follow anything he does either.
He has a new app called Dispo. It's a social media app. He had beta phase going, and now he launched the actual phase. And he also has his own pizza company now.
Oh, good for him.
Frozen pizzas, I think. I think it's frozen pizzas, like in the store.
But. Yeah, but well, still, and that's goes back to what we were saying, because even though they have millions of followers or subscribers and everything, like, and you get paid $10 per 1,000 views or whatever it may be on YouTube, different companies or different things and ads, and you can make a good living with just that. But if you want to do more, like, you have to have other income sources, right? And like every YouTuber has merch, like hats and T-shirts and what have you. But like you know,
hats.
Oh, there you go.
Dallas Drifts. Follow me on everything.
I'll add your social in the description.
Sounds good. I'm Dallas Drifts on absolutely everything, from Twitter to Instagram to TikTok. I haven't posted a TikTok in a while. There's something I got to work at.
Yeah, that's not, neither have I. That's what's bad for me, is that I have different names on different things. I'm trying to kind of put it all together because my Twitter is literally just like my name, because I don't really use my Twitter very often. But like my YouTube is just my name, but my Instagram is not, because my Instagram is a different thing that I'm doing between that. Like, I have different like projects kind of going. Like, there's this YouTube channel plus my personal one plus my Instagram, which is just my photography Instagram, because I don't, that's not linked at all. Well, it kind of is a little bit. I occasionally put like a thumbnail that I make on that, but where it was like, oh, like revenue streams and stuff like that. Like, do you know the channel, the Try Guys?
Why does that sound familiar? Who are they?
Four guys, Keith, Ned, Zach, and Eugene. they started off with BuzzFeed, and then they created their own channel in 2018, I think.
Oh, I do know that. And they try different things out and like review it almost, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the whole premise. But
Yeah.
they have a show on Food Network now, so like
Great.
yeah, because they have a thing, they have a series on their channel called Without a Recipe. So they will literally try to make. I think the first one was bread, or something like that, and they literally just like, okay, we have bread, flour, yeast, water, eggs, whatever, and it just shows each of them kind of trying it out with different their own personal mindset or whatever,
Hmm.
and apparently I don't know when it's gonna happen, when if it's this year or not, but yeah, so Food Network picked up their concept and they're gonna be making this for food. Like that shows them,
That's awesome.
that shows the relationship on how big like YouTube is now. Like as you were saying, 4 hour, was it, which one? 4 Hour Work Week was
4 Hour Work Week.
yeah,
Emily Paris.
that one, or which one was the one that you said that was written in 08?
Yeah, four
Yeah,
hour work
yeah.
week.
So like
Yeah.
that would have, if that was written in 2015 even, right? It would include so many more things compared to what what I assume, probably has this, like I said, the same kind of idea, same concept, but maybe not the exact same stuff that influences stuff
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Well, there's been attempts for like MTV and stuff to snag YouTubers to make their own shows on their channels, and there's been many cases where they turn it down because the YouTuber likes being in charge of his own production, makes a good amount of money,
Hmm.
similar to if not more, but he gets full rights of everything, and he just like even you remember Discovery Channel, Fast and Loud with Richard Rawlings, Gas Monkey Garage, all that stuff.
Vaguely. That's not the part of Discovery Channel that I watched.
Uh,
I
well,
watched MythBusters, man.
oh, we're gonna get back to that in half a sec too, then.
Okay.
But yeah, Richard Rawlings, I believe, is going solo now. He decided not to renew with Discovery. Discovery dropped him, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But he's been posting about how he's gonna make his own show now, so that's cool. But speaking of MythBusters, do you well have you have Prime also, correct?
No.
No? Okay, well, you need to get Prime because there is a show now called The Great Escapists. It's got Richard Hammond from Top Gear, the British
Right.
cargo
Yeah.
stuff,
Yep.
and Tori Belleci from Mythbusters.
Right. I saw Tori's.
Yeah,
Right. I saw Tori's post on Twitter about that.
yeah. It's one season. They're stranded on an island, and they're using science to escape the island.
Mm-hmm.
It's fake and ridiculous. Like they build a gyrocopter, and they build go karts out of their broken boats, and like really,
MacGyver-esque, and but
yeah,
totally
yeah,
total bullshit. Yeah, kind of like Savage Builds was, or White Rabbit Project. They've all kind of done like
hmm
something, and then um, I don't like Adam still talks about. I think Jamie Hyman is the only one from that show that hasn't branched out to do anything else TV wise since MythBusters ended, because um, even his Twitter handle is Jamie No Tweet, and I think his Twitter has like one or two tweets on it. That's literally it, because
yeah.
he's an
That's
old grumpy
funny.
man. But Adam has tested and everything, and he still does like Comic Con panels and stuff via Zoom now, but still.
Yeah. He is that. I've seen his YouTube show a couple times where he makes. I don't know if this is the same show you're talking about, but he'll do replica movie items like Han Solo's phaser,
Yeah,
or like Neil Armstrong's entire outfit, including the proper watch. Like he does some pretty
yeah,
cool stuff.
yeah. He's been actually Adam Savage. I have read Carrie Byron's book, and I have Adam Savage's book. Carrie Byron's was Crash Test Girl. It was about her life of getting into the effects world and stuff like that, and like struggles, especially as being like a woman in the industry. And then Adam Savage's was Every Tool is a Hammer, and talking about how like you have to just keep on working at it and use whatever aspects you have to build up your like life and career and everything. So it was,
Yeah.
yeah.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, Adam Savage is one of like
Yeah.
I quote him all the time of say when he of failure is always an option. I actually did um a report, like a video report about that thing for school, my last semester of school.
Yeah, that's so. He was a cool kid. Like, or as a kid, watching him on MythBusters,
Yeah.
he was so cool. Like all of them were incredibly cool. Totally had a crush on Carrie.
Yep. Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And
Redhead.
then
There you go.
unfortunately Grant passed away.
Yeah.
So
He's definitely one of the names that kind of got more thrown under the radar. Like MythBusters fans were upset about it, but like he wasn't like it wasn't like Chadwick Boseman or LeBron James, like the big names. But like yeah, happened with Grant too, and it was just another one of the 2020 just terrible year that just
yeah.
yeah.
Well, you ever watch Smokey and the Bandit?
Never watched it. I know what it is, but no, I never watched it.
So Junior, Sheriff Buford T. Justice's son, who's also a former NFL player, but like 60s, long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he passed away January, and no one knew. His family didn't even release it till like a month later.
Mm.
Just no one knew because he was famous in his day, but his day was 30 years ago, and he has been just under the radar this whole time now. So
Yeah, no, exactly.
yeah,
Just there's been like yeah, 20. Like Chadwick was probably the biggest one for me. Because I know a lot of people. I think the big ones were definitely Chadwick, LeBron, and Alex Trebek were probably one of the biggest names I can think of. I don't know. I'm probably
oh,
forgetting. There's
there was a bunch of rappers, like very mainstream rappers. I believe Juice World was 2020.
okay.
And like there's I feel bad now because I know King Von. I think there was a few famous music artists that did
No,
pass away.
yeah, of course, and that's
Yeah, so
yeah. Okay. Sorry, trying to not just completely forget it because that's not a you don't want to just ignore it, but
yeah.
let's anyway. I'm trying. I don't want to sound like an asshole being like, well, fuck it. Like, who cares? Who cares? But
I wrote down a couple topics that we could potentially talk about if we get bored.
sure. What's the first one?
Oh, just unrelated. Also, did you know the Grammys is happening like tonight?
I only heard it on the radio as I was getting to work today. I'm like, who the fuck has a grant? Like, get that. Oh, that's the big thing I've been seeing on like Facebook is like Nicki Minaj's "Wet Ass Pussy" could win a Grammy, yet we're canceling the not the Muppets.
No,
What was
Muppets
it?
got hit too, didn't they? Potato Head got hit.
Yeah, that wasn't the one that was for the post. It was Dr. Seuss. Dr.
Oh
Seuss.
yeah.
That's what the post was.
That was so
Fucking
long ago. He's been dead since like the 20s, I think.
yeah. I'm like I don't know. Fucking cancel culture.
Yeah. Well, even you know that kid show Paw Patrol about like the dogs that
Yeah,
talk.
yeah.
They canceled the one dog because the dog was a cop, and they said it was painting police in a very positive manner that was unrealistic. So they literally canceled a cartoon police dog.
But I just got my nephew a Chase police dog toy for his birthday.
I don't know.
Like
It's been it's been on social media. And that
Chase is on the case.
there's a big post about everything that got canceled in 2020 or whatever, and yeah, there's Potato Head and the Paw Patrol guy and like it's a ton of stuff.
Really?
Potato Head.
Like
You know
yeah,
how
Because it's Mr. Potato Head, yeah, and
I heard
Pepe Le Pew and
I heard they undid that Potato Head cancel. Hey,
oh really? No, I didn't.
I which we're getting a new amusement park currently in our city called Hasbro World,
Yeah,
which I'm
it's
sure you're aware of.
yeah
So I was
replacing Wem.
yeah. So I was very interested in whether they were going to go with Potato Head or Mr. Potato Head, but no, it doesn't really matter.
I don't know like is that just because like the Galaxy Land, like the alien and stuff like that? Like I wonder what the reason was behind that. Because or is it just because
Because
it just
Hasbro will
lost
pay
just
them.
yeah, like what. Hasbro is definitely not a brand you majorly like think of it. Like Disney
Mm,
is a big thing, you Nickelodeon maybe, but like Hasbro is. So you have like a Transformers thing. Like what are they gonna have? Like
no,
a pool of Play-Doh?
that'd be funny.
Just jump in a
Yeah.
completely bacteria filled thing of Play-Doh.
Well, all it is Hasbro's paying them, and their own little alien dude was their own.
Yeah,
So they make more money having an affiliate like that. So
yeah, makes
it's
sense.
yeah. All right. So you asked about these. I got a couple good ones. So first on my list, Kardashian cards. Kardashians are coming out with their own line of like greeting cards, birthday cards, and they're calling it Kardashian cards with a K. Isn't that weird?
As long as they don't add a third K, then it should be fine.
Kim Kardashian's cards,
Oh
or
my god.
Khloe Kardashian's cards, or Kourtney
No!
Kardashian's cards.
No! That's where it'll be terrible.
Yeah.
But I can see it. It's just capitalizing on more money. It's the same thing we were just saying. They're trying to. It's just like Paris Hilton. Like she was on Hot Ones last week, and she has the same thing. She has like perfumes, and she was talking about how someone tried to get Paris Hilton beans, and she was like, "That's not my brand," but there's already like Kardashian like clothing and like at Walmart and stuff like that. So I could definitely see it.
Did you say beans?
Yeah, literally like can of beans.
I just watched that episode of Futurama where Leela was sponsoring the can of beans. that's, that's funny.
Now do it in the bean costume.
Yeah. All right. So next up on my list, these are all short topics. Like you can't really build off Kardashian cards, right? So,
Yeah.
you want to hear music or TV?
Let's go music first.
Did you hear Post Malone's new cover of "Only Wanna Be With You" by Hootie and the Blowfish?
No, I don't listen.
It's amazing.
The only Post Malone song I know is "Sunflower" because it's from Spider-Man in the Spider-Verse. Other than that, Post Malone can fucking get out of my radar.
Man, this he made this song for that 25th Pokemon anniversary thing.
Oh yeah, okay,
Yeah, and I'm
yeah.
like, oh my god. It's like I said, it's the Hootie and the Blowfish song, but instead of saying "afraid of dolphins" throughout the song, Post Malone changed it to "afraid of cowboys." So I'm wondering if it's a football reference because there's the Miami Dolphins and the Dallas Cowboys, or if it just he doesn't think dolphins are scary. I don't know.
I I don't know. I don't. Honestly, just because you said Miami Dolphins, that completely irrelevant, has nothing to do with what you just said. But just because you brought it up, I just thought of Ace Ventura: Pet Detective,
That's
and how
I never saw the sequel, but yeah.
and how that's the first one.
Oh, then
That
maybe I saw the sequel.
the sequel is when nature calls. It's when, but the first one you probably couldn't really show anymore. It's definitely not the 2020 vibes because he gets super disgusted about a transgender man, woman, person, a chick with a
Yeah.
yeah. So it would not fly nowadays.
Mm.
Sorry, like I
I
said,
got a couple
completely
friends.
irrelevant, but
I got a couple friends, and it's very opened my eyes on what's acceptable to say and what's not to say anymore. So
mm-hmm.
I'm trying my best not to say chicks with dicks anymore.
Yeah, I totally. I'm like, yeah, but even Brandon and I were talking about too because he brought up not queer eye
Drag Race.
drag
RuPaul's Drag
race.
Race.
Yes, he brought that up and then we had a small little
Yeah.
conversation on that too. So it's such a yeah. I'm actually kind of surprised that Ace Ventura is still available on like regular like TV like cable or satellite or whatever. I think I saw it not too long ago at my parents' place. Like as I don't think we were watching it, but like as something to. I'm like kind of surprised they even still show that movie, even though it's a Jim Carrey classic.
Yeah.
um, No, that literally just what you just did there reminded me of something Peter McKinnon said. He's definitely probably one of my top favorite YouTubers, and he did a video. Every couple of years he did like a what's in my bag or everyday carry type of thing, and he had the same thing. He had a little notebook, a little pen, like when you have video days, because like
Yeah.
if you have it on your phone, you'll like it will be in the back of your app, if your notes app, and you'll forget about it. But if you have an actual like physical thing, it like makes you remember because it's you have the motion of actually like writing it and finding it in your notebook and everything. So stuff like something like that is perfect. I want to start doing that, but I'm terrible at
Cool.
remembering to do things like that.
What's your current everyday carry?
Honestly, it's down to three things. I have because I got this. It's so I have actually on my channel I have the unboxing of this phone, and I'm going to be doing a review later. Check that out. But the LG, I'm not going to fold the full thing because it has my but not a big deal, but has my ID and wallet and everything like that in it. So my LG G7 or no LG Velvet smartphone. So it has my wallet and has like the main cards that I need with me, driver's license, that type of stuff. And so that's actually been so weird to get used to not carrying my wallet in my back pocket. So I used to always have that, but I'm used to having the feel. But yeah, it's just basically that. My keys and my Bluetooth headphones.
That's not bad. I have like a little adventure bag that I bring when I go places, like in my car all the time.
Yeah,
But for my actual own person, I got my girlfriend got me this awesome Casio watch that does altitude. It's got a compass. It does all that fancy crazy stuff, right?
yeah.
Like, so I got that. I got my.
You seem like a knife guy.
Oh, I'm not. I'm a sidekick guy. So it's
Oh,
the pliers that turn into the pocket knife with the saw and
mine's. I don't bring this with me. The reason I didn't bring that because mine's Husky. It's super cheap.
yeah, it's. Well, I have like a knife and an axe in my truck for when I'm out in the bush.
Yeah.
But that's and my keychain has a little knife on it too, I guess. But that doesn't count. So I got this, and then my final thing that I always have is my bright orange Zippo. Ooh, fancy.
Fancy. No, I've never. I've owned a Zippo once in my life, and that's when I first started smoking weed, and that was a like, the color that oil gives off when it's like reflective in the light, like the purple kind of tie dye ish kind of color.
Oh, like neochrome.
Yeah, that.
I don't know if you're gonna love this or hate this, but all of the cutlery in my house is this neochrome stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that was a yogurt parfait thing, so that's why it looks gross.
It's a little dirty, but yeah, that's life.
Yeah,
It's food.
yeah, I love that. I do have a pocket knife of that somewhere. I got a flask, a neochrome flask. Oh, even my vapes, that neochrome purpley stuff. I love that stuff.
That was the only thing I've never, but I just have like a Bic now, just a basic lighter, just for home. Nothing,
Yeah.
nothing fancy. I'm not a smoker or anything, so I don't have to carry anything like that with me.
Well, actually, my watch, the Zippo, and this have all been gifts. Everything like expensive that actually is valuable to me, I've never bought myself because I'm cheap, very cheap.
Yeah, the only thing that's really expensive that I really bought for myself that is actually I've spent more money on tattoos and stuff, but my camera is literally the same camera that you have, and that's
Yeah, SL2.
yeah, exactly. I need to wait. I need to invest in getting a better lens and everything still too. But
Yeah, I just got the kit lens with mine, so.
yeah, me too. The 18-55.
Yep, 18 to 55. Yep.
Yeah, it works.
Oh, yeah, it's a good lens for me. Because you guys can all see me great out there in TV land.
Yeah, exactly. I am currently using my old LG G7 as the webcam right now too. So old phone, new phone. There you go. New mic. The old podcast I had a headphone. I still have that mic, but it's top down. Like it went to the mouth.
Oh,
But
right.
it always it always hung like it didn't actually work properly. Like it was hanging like down here. So I'm glad I actually put some money and got an actual. It's not an actual Blue Yeti mic, but it's still that same kind of quality. So an actual recording mic, so it sounds a lot better.
If I had one of those flip down ones, I'd feel like a fighter pilot all the time. Just all the cool, I don't know what plane guys say, like Bravo Alpha Delta got a bogey on the Charlie or whatever.
Okay,
I probably
that's
said that really badly.
that's kind of right-ish, but
Well,
and it,
bogey is a plane thing, I think.
but well, bogeys, yeah, it's kind of general military term. Same thing, Alpha Bravo. That's just literally
The letters,
the
the letters.
letters.
Yeah.
But
Okay, so my last topic is: you ever watch Supernatural?
yes, the yeah, I
Yeah. Did you see it ended this year, right?
yeah I watched
Or
it.
last year?
COVID fucked up the ending.
Yeah, but you watched the ending, correct?
Yes, it
So the
was.
spoiler alert: they all die of old age at the end.
Yeah, well, Dean didn't.
Dean gets
Sam
killed
did.
by a random masked vampire.
Yeah,
Don't even show his face. It's got a mask on.
yeah, a
After
spike in.
everything.
Yeah, exactly, a spike in the freaking shoulder or whatever, or gut
Yeah.
or whatever it was.
And I feel bad for old man Sam. He just rips the car cover off and like just sits in the Impala, just pretending to drive. Like they didn't actually show him driving at all, so I thought that
No,
was odd.
honestly, I think they should have ended the series at 19 because this episode 19 ended with like the montage of them like finishing off. It had Jack like everything was story
Yeah,
wise.
no, agree.
Yeah, and then Cope like, did you hear about that they were supposed to do a lot bigger of an ending, but like have people come back in and come to like random like other people throughout the show to come in, not just Bobby. It was supposed to actually be like their parents and stuff like that, blah blah blah. It was supposed to be a big thing, but then with having to travel into Vancouver, and then have to quarantine for 14 days, people not being able to work and stuff like that for that time frame, they just couldn't do it. So it was like, yeah, COVID fucked up everything. But anyway, sorry.
They should have left it where you're saying, and then saved the dying of old age for like a reunion movie in like 5 years or something.
Yeah.
Because I love reunion movies. Sorry, because of that, Jensen Ackles is now not an actor for Supernatural because the series is over.
Yeah.
So he's been announced to be Soldier Boy on The Boys on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, he's on that, and Jet Padalecki is on. I just watched it last night. Walker. It's a
like Texas Ranger, like
yeah. It's not connected with Chuck Norris in that, but it's like it's in kind of like the same world. Same as how I said with like Cobra Kai is kind of connected with Karate Kid, but this is. I've only watched the first episode so far, but of what my understanding is that it's in Texas and it's kind of like inspired by Walker Texas Ranger, but like not like. And it was so weird seeing Jared Padalecki with short, like not short hair like mine, but like a little bit shorter than like your hair is instead of his like down to his neck. It was weird.
Yeah, that would be. Is he the main character of that now, or?
Yeah, he plays Walker, like or whatever his first name
that'll
is.
Be cool.
Yeah, it's on the CW.
Well, if it ever gets online, because I don't have real TV, then I will watch it.
Yeah. But
all right.
Again, I kind of just stole your conversation from you. But what were you gonna say about? Is that the Soldier Boy, The Boys? Is that what you're gonna say?
Yeah, Soldier Boy. But yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's now Jensen Ackles from Supernatural is now Soldier Boy on The Boys, and he's
crank that Soldier Boy. Sorry,
Soldier Boy up, Benny. Oh, crank me, watch me. Oh,
yeah.
All right.
So, thanks guys for listening. This was the new co-host again. Like I said at the beginning, it was gonna be a little bit of a mix of people, kind of back and forth, depending on days and how things go. Hopefully, Dallas and I didn't go too much off topic. We're trying to still keep it into that media and shows and stuff type of situation, but we're gonna see how it goes in the future and keep episode will be still a little bit different. But rabbit trails are always fun. If you like this, make sure to subscribe if you're on YouTube and rate 5 stars on any of the platforms you listen to with just audio. And if you're interested, subscribe to my individual YouTube channel. I'll have it linked below, and Dallas's as well. We'll have all of our social media and everything linked. And yeah, is there anything else you want to say there, Dallas?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
And
and
see you guys again.
alrighty then. Talk to you later, guys. Thanks for listening.
All right.
Bye.